Welcome to EQ Triple Double. I'm your host, Eric Forsetter, and you're probably wondering, why do we call it EQ Triple Double or EQTD5? Well, what's a triple double? A triple double is something in basketball when a player scores 10 or more in at least 3 statistical categories. For example, they record 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 points in a game. Now, at EQTD5, we try to help you with at least 3 tips that will hopefully 10x you, similar to a triple double. And we try to do it in 5 minutes. 2 plus 3 is 5, right? So we're trying to help you out in becoming better with your EQ in 5 minutes or less, depending on how fast I talk or some of my co-hosts talk. Hence the name EQ Triple Double or EQTD5. We also want to help you out in different categories. So it may be something that involves your friends, your family, your work, or just how you interact with people in general. Let's get started. But before we start, let's talk about the goals of EQTD5. Here's a quick recap of the EQ Triple Double 5 goals. First, we provide a quick recap of a daily EQ email. Second, we try to provide you with tips, at least 3 to hopefully 10x your EQ. Of course, with these tips, we want to teach you lessons that you can bring to your daily life. And of course, we want you to share these with family, friends, and colleagues. And this is yours to customize, so you take the tips and decide what works best for you. And finally, we want feedback. We want you to provide us with other content. Hopefully, all of this will take your EQTD5 and 10x it. Today's episode, mistakes we make when we're overwhelmed. Now, do you ever feel overwhelmed? I know I do at times. And at some points in our life, we feel overwhelmed every day. So here are some tips to help you out when you feel overwhelmed. You look at the time, I feel overwhelmed. I just don't have enough time. Well, that's the sense that a lot of people feel when they're overwhelmed. But in fact, people come up with great ideas for their stress and worry when they're actually overwhelmed. For example, hiring someone to help you around the house, or taking care of yourself with some self-care practice, or seeing a therapist, or taking a vacation, or even organizing a game night. A lot of times people say, I just don't have time, and they dismiss that idea because right now you feel overwhelmed. So next time you feel overwhelmed, instead of thinking what would be the ideal outcome, choose the best option that's easy for you. Perhaps you don't have time to research the best vacation or the best housekeeper out there, but getting something instead of nothing will help you out. When you have an idea and it's really good, but you don't act on it, it leads to a sense of powerlessness. And you end up in this loop of should-haves and could-haves and wasted time and energy. So instead, think about what can help you out and act on it the next time you feel overwhelmed. Our next tip, let your mind wander. We all probably think, I just need to focus. If I focus, I'll get through this. But your unconscious mind is great at problem solving too. In fact, sometimes it's even better than your focused mind. So what do you do to unlock that amazing power that you have? Well, you might want to take a walk, or maybe do the dishes, or even cook. Or some people, they think really well in the shower. Whatever it is, let your mind wander instead of trying to focus next time you have a problem. You'll be amazed that magically sometimes that solution will appear for you. So try it out next time. When you're overwhelmed, take 20 minutes to just let your mind wander. Tip number 3. We're interpreting the feeling of being overwhelmed as a weakness. Now, a lot of times we're overwhelmed simply because we need to do a task and we're just not familiar with it. That's okay. But what happens is we get self-critical about the fact that we feel overwhelmed and we can't do it as easily as other tasks that we typically do on a normal day-to-day basis. So instead of being self-critical and procrastinating and then triggering more feelings of being overwhelmed, take a moment to be compassionate and have self-compassion talk to oneself, as well as asking someone else for help. This way, you won't interpret the feeling as a sign of weakness, but in fact, you're getting help and you're able to move on from the problem. Our last tip, don't withdraw. It may sound silly and it may seem easy, but A lot of times when we're overwhelmed, people tend to withdraw. It can be something subtle, like instead of squeezing your child or your loved one every morning for 5 seconds, you just give them a quick little hug. But when doing that, you're missing an opportunity to fill up your emotional cup. And that's what we need the most every day. And you risk that your loved ones are noticing a difference in your actions and not getting your attention as well. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, it may seem right to withdraw, but make sure you spend that extra minute or two with them. I know, for example, for myself, I try when I feel overwhelmed to spend a few minutes with my kids playing with their toys on the floor. It may seem silly, but after some time, I feel more relaxed and more focused. And sometimes I even get into my flow that way. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, don't withdraw. Take a moment and do your normal routine so that you get into the flow of the day. So that's our triple double for today. In case you missed some of the tips, here are a few that we covered and a few more to help you out. So that concludes our triple double for today. Try to incorporate some of these tips into your day. But remember, use what works best for you. These episodes are geared to help you become better, but not every tip is for everyone. As always on EQTD5, we want to end with gratitude. So thank you for watching. Here are some resources that you can use if you want more information going forward. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Have a great day. Thank you.